Web camera, that's why. Shall I do after this Maria's presentation?
Okay.
Today, I'm going to talk about the meat tree that most of us don't know. But today, I hope you'll get a better understanding.
Malia can't hear you.
And I'm unmuted.
Okay, go on. Now can hear.
There are about 7 species of meat trees in the world at present, and 4 of these species are endemic to Sri Lanka. The scientific name of the meat tree is Maduka longifolia. The tree grows to a height of about 20 meters and the trunk of the tree has a thick grey bark. The flowers of the meat tree are yellowish white and bloom in June and July. There are shiny little seeds inside the fruit. The meat tree is one of the most eco-friendly plants found in Sri Lanka. Natural fertilizer for agriculture. Most of these meat trees were cultivated in the past near paddy fields. The fruit and flowers of the meat tree are eaten by bats and then littered by bats throughout the adjacent fields. These bases contain nitrogen fertilizer and many other nutrients required for plant growth. Furthermore, the leaves of this tree fall into the paddy field and the mature is naturally obtained. During ancient times, it was possible to cultivate fertile fields because of this valuable plant was abundant in the paddy fields. In modern agriculture, chemicals, fertilizers destroy the natural bacteria in the soil and the soil loses its fertility over time. Further, a lot of heavy metals activate.
Right, correct, Pute. You're in the correct slide.
Lot of heavy metals are added to the earth and water streams. Therefore, the people of this country have to face deadly conditions such as kidney disease. But if these plants were replanted in the paddy fields, it would be possible to obtain non-toxic food. More than 1 acre of paddy land can be fertilized in one meat tree, and due to this, meat tree is known as the fertilizer tree of the nation. Natural pesticide. The bats that nestle in the meat trees eat pests and insects that destroy cultivation. The birds that come to eat meat fruits and flowers also eat these creatures. The damage done by pests and other insects are prevented naturally. These are the meat fruits and the meat flowers. Kings of the past saved this meat tree. Meat tree helped Sri Lanka succeed as agriculture-based nation and to reign as granary of the East. In the past, the place given to meat tree in the country was so great that the ancient kings even ordered the death penalty for those who cut down meat trees. According to ancient texts, King Devanampiyatissa publicly stated that the felling of this meat tree was cause of death. Unfortunately, this valuable meat tree was allowed to be cut down by the Colobru reconstruction proposed by the invading foreigners in 1833. One of the main uses of this tree is it provides oxygen throughout the day. Plants normally release oxygen into the environment during the day and emit carbon dioxide at night for plants to breathe. The amount of oxygen on Earth today is declining as a result of deforestation. But the meat tree is a plant that releases oxygen 24 hours a day. Such plants are very rare in the world, and as Sri Lankans, we should be happy that 4 of the meat species are endemic to this country. Food gained from meat trees. The flowers, fruits, and extractions of the meat tree are used not only for animal feed, but also for the preparation of human food. Unknown to many, cow and jalapa are made from the flowers of the mee tree. Mee oil is sometimes used in the manufacture of butter and margarine because it contains nutrients such as oleic acid, citric acid, and linoleic acid. The punnet left over from the extraction of oil from the mee tree is known as mee muru and is used as animal feed and as other fertilizer for crops. Mee muru for disinfection. Asians mix mee muru with other natural compounds to destroy germs around the house. The smoke destroys germs against epidemics such as the new coronavirus that has emerged in today's world. The smoke also gives home a natural scent. In addition, the fumigation helps control mosquitoes. Furthermore, crushing and spraying the bark of the mee tree can repel animals such as rats. Contribution to the Ayurvedic medicine. In the past, people used to light lamps using mee oil to reduce the inflammation of the eyes caused by other oils. The parts obtained from this mee tree are used to cure common fractions, skin diseases, snake bites, etc. You can get rid of aches and pains and strengthen nerves. Mee bark is a very good medicine and is used to treat fractions. This peeling decoration is beneficial to relieve joint pain. The drink made from the powder obtained from the dried bark is very healthy. Drinks made from the seed of the mee tree helps in prevention of heart disease. Let's see how we can take care of this wonderful tree. The mee tree, which has many such priceless values, is still being destroyed in Sri Lanka. The mee plant is becoming a legend in the country due to deforestation, timber struggling, and the fact of that present generation is not aware of the value of mee tree. In order to uplift Sri Lanka in the world in terms of agriculture, it is imperative to protect such plants. So isn't it our responsibility to do that? Thank you for your patient listening.
Right. So who is going next? Thank you, Malia, for bringing us a very rare topic and something that we have not heard in common. Bohara, start Buddha. Bohara.
Sri Lankan folk songs. What are folk songs? Folk songs, also known as Janakavi, originated as communal songs shared with in individual groups as they engaged in daily work. They have for centuries been created from form of art associated with village life, its people and their work. They had been passed down the generations through oral, traditional, and many have remained chronicled in the memories of natives. Characteristics of folk song. Creativity is the key character of Sinhala folk song. They were always frank and spontaneous. They were composed with a simple language. These were the voice of the labels. Folk songs contain humor, the quality of unpretentious and degree of sensuality. Types of folk song. Variety of folk songs are almost endless, from lullabies to recreational songs. Palkavi, sung by people working in paddy field and chenas. Karattakavi, sung by men who were transporting goods in carts. Parukavi, sung by who transported mechanized in boats. Patalkavi, sung by people who were working in mines. are some of the examples for the types of folk songs. These folk songs were sung as a combination of an individual chanting in a group, collective singing by members of the group, and interactive discourses, preserving the tradition of folk songs. These folk songs have been introduced to the public domain of entertainment, accompanied by instruments and colorful costumes. They have been entered to school curriculums. Tuneful reflections of simple folk sung to the humble score of drum remain part of Sri Lanka's heritage and a testimony to lives lived on the fringes. Thank you.
Good. Right. Who is next? Ayana, start.
Andy, give a second. Good evening to you all. Today I'm going to discuss about the beautiful topic of spices of Sri Lanka. Auntie, wait a second. Spices are
Noise. Every time you switch on the mic, I hear that tang 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 noise.
Auntie, I don't. Auntie, that's the water. Go to another room and can I do it?
Yeah, start. Go ahead. Start, Ayana. Ayana.
Auntie, can I start it from the beginning?
Yes, you can start.
Spices of Sri Lanka. Spices are there in forms of seeds, fruits, roots, barks, flowers of stems of other plants. They are used for flavoring and coloring food. This has been there from ancient times. It is a part of our culture and a part of us. Spices are sometimes used for making medicine and cosmetic products and perfumes. Sri Lanka used spices in trading in the past and present times. Pure cinnamon is the main and most important spice grown and exported in Sri Lanka. Ceylon cinnamon as a spice. Ceylon cinnamon is a plant indigenous to Sri Lanka. There is a long-standing reputation in the international market due to its unique quality of color, flavor, and aroma. Sri Lanka is the largest exporter of cinnamon. Cinnamon is the most important and valuable spice produced in Sri Lanka? How is cinnamon exported from Sri Lanka? It is exported as quills and as value-added products, as cinnamon oil, cinnamon powder, and tablets. Countries cinnamon is exported to: USA, Mexico, Uganda, Germany, and Madagascar. Other spices: Ceylon pepper, which is used as a spice; Ceylon cloves, which is used as a spice and used as clove oil and is used in dentistry and pharmaceutical and in aromatherapy. Ceylon cardamom. It is used in cooking as a whole pod and ground cardamom. And it is also made into cardamom oil and as a medicine. Nutmeg and mace. It is used as a spice and used in bakery products and used as pharmaceutical and in perfume industry. Ginger has a medicinal value. Vanilla. Vanilla is the orchid variety, and it is the second most expensive spice in the world. It is also sold as a vanilla whole bean and vanilla essence, which we use in baking. Most of these spices are unique to Sri Lanka, and they contribute a lot towards the GDP of Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Can you just give me 2 minutes? I'll be back in a flash, okay? Start.
So today we're going to talk about tea industry in Sri Lanka, which is very famous all around the world. So how did this started? It was back at 1824 in Sri Lanka when China brought a tea plant to Britain and Britain brought a tea plant to Ceylon, as Sri Lanka was known back by then. It was planted in Royal Botanical Gardens in Peradeniya, and it is considered to have non-commercial tea plant in Sri Lanka. After nearly 2 years, in 1867, James Taylor, a Scottish planted 19 acres of tea in the city Kandy in Ceylon at the Lokendra estate at the first commercial tea plantation. The evolution of Sale Lokendra trees restarted in 1872 in Kandy, and this first tea consignment to London in 1873. A little about James Taylor. James Taylor is a Scottish tea planter who introduced British Ceylon. He arrived to British Ceylon in 1852 and settled down in Lokendra estate in Beltotton. Here he worked with Scottish merchant Thomas Lipton to develop the tea industry in British Ceylon. He continued to living in British Ceylon until his death, more than half of his life. In year 1872, James Taylor set a building a large tea factory in Lokendra and started manufacturing packeted tea. He had already written about his success starting the large tea factory, as I as I have machine of my own invention being made in Kandy for rolling to tea. I think will be successful in 1875. James Taylor managed to send the first shipment of tea plant to London. Areas where areas where tea is famous in Sri Lanka. Nuwara Dambulla, Udupusalawa and Uva. These are these most high-grown areas of Sri Lanka. Then we have Ruhuna, Sabaragamu and Kandy. They have a medium growth of tea plantation. Types of tea. First we have green tea. So there are 500 tea varieties in the whole world, and there are three main categories. We have green tea, black tea, orchid tea. Did you know Sri Lanka tea has a world finest tea than the rest? Ceylon tea is famous for its outstanding superior and unparalleled taste of variety. According to 2017 EU Survivor reports Ceylon tea was marked as the cleanest tea market. Thank you.
Good, right. This is so interesting. Right, and Bagisha, are you ready?
No, teacher.
Are you doing the presentation, Bhute?
No, teacher.
All right, okay, it's okay. Disini?
Yes, teacher.
Start, Puta. Are you ready?
Yes, teacher. Teacher, can you hear me?
Can hear you, yes.
Good evening, everyone. In this presentation, I expect to talk about the beautiful places that can be visited in Sri Lanka, which emphasize the beauty of the country. This is the content of my presentation. First, in the introduction, I talk about why Sri Lanka is beautiful. Regional map of attractions in Sri Lanka. Thirdly, the ancient cities and historically beautiful places, beautiful beaches, beautiful waterfalls, hill country, other beautiful places. And finally, I will give conclusion for my presentation. Why Sri Lanka is beautiful? Sri Lanka is beautiful in its nature as it is a beautiful island which is situated in the Indian Ocean. It is belonging to Asian continent and situated in the subcontinent of Asia. It is also known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. You can see the location of Sri Lanka in the world map, and the country map shows there are several beautiful places in the country. This slide shows the regional map of attraction in Sri Lanka.
Puta, we can't see the slides. I thought you were not sharing the screen. You have to share screen. I thought you were not sharing the screen.
Teacher, I was sharing the screen.
The others see.
No, teacher.
No, teacher. No.
Teacher, now can you see?
Wait, it's loading. Yes, we can see now.
Teacher, should I do from the top?
Yes, but they start from the top, otherwise it makes no sense.
Good afternoon, everyone. In this presentation, I expect to talk about the beautiful places that we visited in Sri Lanka, which emphasize the beauty of the country. This is the content of my presentation. First, in the introduction, I talk about why Sri Lanka is beautiful. Then the regional map of attraction in Sri Lanka. Thirdly, the ancient cities and historical beautiful places. Beautiful beaches, beautiful waterfalls, hill country, other beautiful places. And finally, I will give conclusion for my presentation. Why Sri Lanka is beautiful? Sri Lanka is beautiful in its nature as it is a beautiful island which is situated in the Indian Ocean. It is belonging to Asian continent and situated in the subcontinent of Asia. It is also known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. You can see the location of Sri Lanka in the world map, and the country map shows there are several beautiful places in the country. And this slide shows the regional map of attractions in Sri Lanka. And 25 districts. The wonderful thing is that we can find several identical beautiful places according to geographical situation of the country. The ancient cities, the west coast, and etc. This slide shows the ancient cities and historical beautiful places in Sri Lanka. I have taken few examples. In Anuradhapura Ruwanwali Saya, it is a sacred place. Polonnaruwa Watadagaya and Sigiriya Rock Fortress, the eighth wonder of the world because of its uniqueness. Dambulla Cave Temple, Yabahuwa Kingdom, which is situated in Kurunegala district. All the places shows the historical beauty of the country. This slide shows very attractive beaches in the country. I have taken two examples of such beaches, Nilaveli Beach and Onnavatina Beach. Nilaveli is the natural beach in Sri Lanka. There are 7 most beautiful waterfalls in Sri Lanka. Here shows the Bambarakanda and Dunhinda as examples. Bambarakanda is the highest waterfall in Sri Lanka. Hill country of Sri Lanka is different from other.
Go on with that.
It has there are beautiful places such as Hagar Botanical Garden, Horton Plains, etc. Further, the beauty of the country can be seen from beautiful mountains. Peduruthalagala is the highest mountain in the country. There are several other natural places. Nine Arch Bridge, Adams Peak, Yava National Park, Singharaja Forest are other places which give natural beauty to the country. Singharaja is the World Heritage Site which is also bring more natural beauty to the country. Finally, I can say Sri Lanka is very beautiful in its nature. There are very beautiful, attractive places in the country. Thank you for your attention. Stay safe.
Did everybody perform? Did I miss anybody? No, right? Good. Well, girls, I I have no words to explain how proud I feel. Looking at those beautifully crafted presentations and looking at how nicely you presented yourselves, I have no words to explain how proud I feel. Right? And I feel so glad that I did this activity with you. And I've given you a bit of a more challenge for your next activity. And I believe, I trust you can do that as well. Well, it was extremely interesting. Every single speech was interesting and attractive. But let me tell you the things that you need to improve. Number one, I like how Ayana used the exited. I like how Ayana used the presentation to give out the points, to give out only the points, and she read out the rest of it. She voiced the rest of the information, but she didn't read it from the screen. Right? So that is one thing, that is one of the key things that you need to remember, not to include all what you are going to say onto your screen, onto your slide. Include only the main points. And I like how Disney also did the same thing. Most of the time, Disney also did the same thing. So I like that technique, and it is mostly like Kenata Vada, that is the technique that you need to follow, right? So hereafter, remember, include the most important points on the slide. The rest of the speech, the rest of the narration has to be with you, and then you read it out. Okay, while using the pictures, the images, and giving out the most important facts, you read out the entire description, right? So that you have to please make note of it and please keep it in mind that you need to remember. Number two, there were lots of pronunciation errors, less grammatical errors. Now with the smaller ones, there were a lot of grammatical errors. But in these presentations, there were just a few grammatical errors. But there were lots of pronunciation errors, right? So in such cases, what you could do is, now since all of you are living here, all of you are kind of like depending on Google, you can search that as well. How to pronounce Era. Era කියන word එකට වචන ගොඩක් කිව්වා කට්ටිය. It's ERA, is era. Era කියන්නේ ඒ කාල වකවානුව, right? Okay, and then there were some more words. I mean, it is not, මට එක පාරට mistakenly ඕගොල්ලන්වත් මම හිතන්නේ දෙසරයක් විතර correct වුණා. දෙසරයක් හරි තුන් සැරයක් හරි මට correct වුණා. But then I tried my best to keep my mouth shut because it is not nice to interrupt you when you are talking. Right? So I was trying my best to keep my mouth shut because we already got interrupted here and there. And anyway, throughout this entire week, I have been listening to your speeches, all the student speeches, and I did not interrupt any of those speeches. I didn't, because it is not nice to interrupt when someone is delivering a speech in public. Right? ඉතින් ඒක හින්දා ඒක ethical නැති නිසා මං correct කළේ නැහැ. හරිද? Right? But what you can do is, in case if you are not sure of how to pronounce a certain word, you can type it. How to pronounce කියලා word එක type කරන්න, and then you get the correct pronunciation. And when you get the pronunciation, check for British accent. Check for British pronunciation, not the American. Okay, right. So, so those are the 2 points that I wanted to mention. Every single topic was extremely interesting, and I loved listening to your speeches. And yes, I want to correct those words. If not, I was actually going to ask you to dress up in a bit of a nicer suit and record your entire presentation and send me to be shared in the group and to be shared in the Facebook also, because these presentations must be recognized and must be seen by not only me, by many, because there was
Auntie, excuse me, Auntie. My present was the wait, Auntie. My presentation I was going to do for exam.
Yes, I know.
So,
Wait, I'll come to that point. Regarding Trinity exams, there is a small concern that has risen with the present condition of the country, situation of the country. So there is a small issue, and I'll be having a parents meeting for the students taking part in Trinity exams. Trinity විතරයි lambda ප්‍රශ්න lambda ඔයගලන්ට නෑ හැබැයි Trinity exams කරන අයගේ parents අද Monday at 5 o'clock there'll be an online parents meet. Sunday at 5 o'clock there'll be an online parents meeting, and yes, and then we will discuss what we are going to do. And then after that, I will tell you how to proceed once I have made a decision with your parents. Right? Okay. So do you have to tell me anything? Danny? So Senali and Vagisha, I hope you know and understood what you need to do for your next presentation. Yes, Stephanie?
Miss, about the drama, so we have to read that.
Yes, please
the book
read the dramas, all those who collected the dramas, all about that I will let you know after the discussion on Sunday.
Auntie, it was not clear on the book. Like it was not printed quite clear.
What?
The script you gave us, it was not printed quite clear.
It wasn't clear.
Some of the pages it was like
That is because I also have a photocopy. My photocopy is from my teacher and I made your copies from my book. So obviously the quality is a little bit low. I'm sorry about it because it's very difficult to find those books. We don't have the originals. And I think even Miss has a photocopy. And then Miss, my teacher's copy is an old ancient copy. Right? Okay, so I'll see you all next week. All the Trinity students, please remind your parents to join the parents meeting on Sunday at 5. It's very important that I need to discuss with them. And I'm very proud of all of you girls. Well done. Bye-bye. God bless.
Do we have to send the
Thank you, Auntie.
God
No,
bless you,
no,
teacher.
I'll tell you. Bye. Bye. God bless you.
Thank
Bye.
you, Auntie. God bless.